Hey everyone, so I hope that you're having a successful growing season so far now that spring has officially sprung, and we're with Morgan Composting, the makers of Dairy Dew, all spring and summer long just to help you have a successful growing season. We're at Maple Hill Nursery in Midland. Last segment we talked about raised beds, but this time, now that we've used them, can you reuse them, Connor?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you don't have to always start over. As you know, when you put in your raised bed your first year, sometimes that first year it can be a little bit labor intensive, a little more expensive, but it doesn't have to be like that every year. You can usually just come in and top off. So what we have with this is a raised bed that we used last year. We pulled all the plant material out of it. And what we can do is we can just come in here and kind of revitalize it, kind of pump it full of nutrients again. So one of the products that I usually like to use is our Healthy Garden 765, which is an organic granular. And you can take this and just sprinkle it over top of your raised bed, and that'll kind of juice it back up to the way it needs to be. Usually I recommend about 4 pounds per 100 square feet for an application rate for a new year.
So how do you replenish the nutrients? Because you have to go in, take out all the plants. Does that mean soil comes with it? You might lose some soil, right?
Yeah, you might lose some soil, and you usually want to try and shake that off, kind of get some of that soil out. But you're always going to lose a little bit, and sometimes after that first year, things kind of settle out a little bit,
Okay.
and sort of lower down, and you want to kind of top that off, raise that soil level back up a little bit. So in that case, you want to use either one of our organic potting soils, our Veggie Dew 301 or our Flower Dew 201. Another option too is if it's not too low, it just went down a little bit, you can always top dress with our Straight Dairy Dew compost, about 1/4 inch over the entire area. And you can usually calculate how much you need by going to dairydew.com, and on our website we have a Dairy Dew calculator where you can put your dimensions in and then put just 1/4 inch for that height level.
Yeah.
You'll be good to go. Just work that in a little bit.
I think that's great that you guys have that on your website. It's so readily available.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the Veggie Dew, the Flower Dew. Can you just describe the difference? And some of us have different gardening tools.
Absolutely, absolutely. So our Veggie Dew 301 is going to be more of a coarser material, so it's easier for those established roots to keep spreading out. It's going to have higher nitrogen, higher calcium. It's going to have a whole bunch of micronutrients and minerals in it. So what you're going to get out of that is you're going to get bigger plants. You're going to get bigger vegetables, and those vegetables are going to taste better. Your tomatoes are actually going to taste like tomatoes, and you're just going to have an awesome experience with it. The healthier those plants are, the more nutrients that are in those vegetables, the better you are going to be after you eat those. It's more healthy for you. Our Flower Dew 201 is also an organic potting soil. What you're going to get out of that is a higher phosphorus load. So that means you're going to get bigger blooms, brighter blooms, and there's going to be more also. And it's just going to be the envy of every other gardener in the community.
Yeah, you're going to be the one popping on the street
Exactly.
with all the bright colors and big vegetables and what have you. So this Healthy Garden mix that you have, is that something you sprinkle on top and then you just leave it, walk away, or what's the process look like?
So usually, like I said, you want to calculate about 4 pounds per 100 square foot.
Okay.
And you're going to have this nice granular, and so you can kind of spread it over the top. And that's going to break down and leave behind organic matter to help feed that plant, as well as the nutrients that are in it.
Okay.
You're going to want to put that down. You're going to want to water it in really nicely. And speaking on water, you want to make sure these soils are moist. You don't want them to be mud, but you want them to be wet enough that plant can do a good job. So when you're coming by throughout the summer, just check your soil. Dig down about 2 inches. Just feel what that soil's looking like. Is it super dry? Is it too wet? Or is it just right in that in between, that moist level?
That's great. So you can put on the Healthy Garden plant, and then you're good, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So obviously you want to come back, you want to check it, make sure everything's growing well, make sure there's no pest issues or anything like that. Check the water, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much a plug and play kind of thing, But just make sure it's good to go. Just watch it. These are your babies.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure they're good to go.
Oh, you don't mess with some people's gardens, I'll tell you that much. All right, well, this has been great, Connor. I appreciate all the info.
Yeah.
It's very valuable, and makes non-growers or non-gardeners feel like they're actually doing something.
Absolutely.
Like myself. All right, make sure to stick around. We're going to talk a lot more with Morgan Composting throughout the rest of the spring and summertime, so you guys have the best successful growing season. Stick with us.